Thanks for coming back to What the Heck is Happening in HR. Today, we're going to talk about modernization. We're well into the second quarter. Well, almost. It seems like it, at least. 2025 is going so fast. We are well into what we need to get done this year, and it's only the first quarter. So, as we head into the end of this quarter and into the second quarter, what is it we need to do? Thanks for listening. For our podcast disclaimer, please visit the episode description. Modernization in HR has lots of looks, but I want to talk about the people and the processes. Because whether you're a for-profit or a not-for-profit business, how you have resources at the end of the day all depends on your people and your processes. So really think about how we're going to modernize, not for today, but for the future. And how are we going to set up systems that make things better? So on processes, we really need to scrutinize it. I remember in one of my first HRIS implementations, somebody said, you don't want to pave the cow path. And that has stuck in my head since that day. I thought, how true is that? Because the cows go down the same path, which isn't necessarily the quickest. It might be the most scenic, but it might not be the right one. And yet they do that over and over again. So it is time for you to be able to lay out those processes. What is efficient? What's the reason we're doing this in this time frame? What's the reason I'm giving this person this information? Do they even use it? What are those processes? Whether it's producing a report or getting a lead for a customer, what are those processes? Scrutinize them, make them more efficient. Then I want to look at people and the workflow around the people and the people themselves. This is really a time to be able to say, do I have those right people? Are they really the right people for our values? Are they the right people for where we're headed? Are they able to adjust to the skills that we're going to need? I know sometimes I'll have people will say to me, well, we need to keep her because she has the history of the place. Now, one of my 3 majors in my undergrad degree was history, and so I'm a huge believer of it. But to keep somebody around to let us know how we did it, I'm not sure that's the right thing to do. We should take those lessons learned and certainly apply them going forward. But many times the people we have kept for the history will tell us we did that before. It didn't work. Of course, not all of them. But we haven't really defined why we're keeping them, except they have the history of it. So I really think you need to look at the people. Constantly scrutinize your processes and scrutinize the people if you're going to modernize your workforce and your workplace. Look at the technology. Look at the software. Look at the software that's available. Look at the security around the software. Look at the enhancements you can make. Look at user groups. Find people who use the same software you do and figure out how you can support each other to perhaps drive changes with the software company, or perhaps little workarounds that you have found, reports that you've set up as customized that are very helpful. You should absolutely figure out what you're doing with AI. It can be such a great helper for your business, even if it's just collecting the data and you're asking it to tell you the story it shows. Use it to be able to challenge your own thinking. It is not in a place, I believe, where it stands alone. We still have insight. We still have everything we have with experiences that we bring that are not recorded anywhere in AI. And so it's only basing itself on its learning from things that we've given it. And if we haven't given it, It doesn't know. And that's why we still have to have the people aspect. And that's why you need to look at the people. And so AI is really important. And modernizing the workplace means modernizing the workplace means being compliant, making sure you're looking at that data, making sure you've taken care of the fundamentals of why your department exists. If you're in HR and you need to recruit and you're recruiting for the business, then are you doing legal interviewing? Preferably interviewing that's really remarkable about how you can understand if the person's a good fit for you and how, if they aren't, how they should move on and what kind of company might be good for them. Share with them your insights. I had a position open in one company and we had some great interviews. And when we made the offer, the person who was actually the second in the space, and I don't think he knew he was second. He knew he was one of our finalists, but I don't think he knew he was number 2, called me and said, "Hey, what could I do better? I'm sorry I didn't get that job, but what do you think I could do better in my interview, my next ones?" And I shared with him what I heard and what I thought he could do. It was a 15-minute conversation. But what really helped me was at the end of that conversation when he said, "You valued me enough to interview me, but you valued me enough to help me grow, even if I'm not with your organization." And that just filled my heart. The second thing he did was he called me when he got the job and said, "This is a better fit for me." And I did what you said, and I used my own words and what you told me, and it really worked out great. And we continue to stay in touch. So, understanding compliance, how it can make a difference to modernize who we are, what we do, how we do it, and if it's in line with our values. All of that is part of the modernization of the workplace today. And that modernization needs to have a review of our values. Are our values still valid? Don't mean all the alliteration there, but are they valid? Are they still how we want to treat each other, how we get our work done, how we make our decisions? You need to be able to look at what is guiding you, what's your Polaris for your organization, and is it still what it was? Because those are the people you need in order to make decisions around those processes, in order to use AI effectively and legally, in order to remain compliant, and in order to be able to use technology appropriately. That's what you need to do to modernize your HR department and your whole workplace community as you enter further into 2025. And I hope you have on your list for 2025 to subscribe to our podcast. We drop new episodes every single Monday on every platform you can think. Thanks for listening.